Greetings everyone. One of the lightning rods in American politics for the past 30 years has been abortion. From Falwell's moral majority to Dobson's focus on the family to Sarah Palin, the life issue remains paramount to conservative Christians. Many promising political campaigns died out because of their reluctance to accede to Christian sentiments on the issue. From Bush Sr. in '80 to McCain in 2000 to Giuliani in 2008, the Christian voting base used its veto power within the Republican Party on its litmus issue. I grew up in a home where abortion along with homosexuality were the most egregious sins. This usually translated into voting straight-ticket Republican. The defining moment during political debates for me was when the Republican would say, "I'm pro-life." That was the clincher. The stuff about budgets and economics was just semantics and unexciting. As Karl Rove used to say, you don't get votes without anger points. I did not care if the tax rate on dividends increased or decreased by 3.7%. But I got angry when it came to the life issue. I lived in a universe of right and wrong. I was on the side of good and fought evil every time I cast my vote based on the Bible. One day, I actually bothered to research the Republican position on abortion, and I was horrified at what I saw. Did you know that Republicans are against abortion, except in cases of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger? Let me repeat that, Republicans are for life except in cases of rape, incest, or the mom's life being in danger. Except? Wow. I agree with the Christian right when they state that their opposition to abortion is a Christian position. While the biblical canon does not mention abortion, many of the books which were close to making the canon but eventually missed out clearly spell out that abortion is a damnable sin. The closest passage the canon comes to mentioning abortion is a passage from Psalms wherein David describes God knitting him in the womb. Interpreting that passage is tricky, but other Christian writings leave no doubt. The Apocalypse of Peter, not the Gnostic version, but the version that almost took the place reserved for Revelation, tells us that women who have abortions are tortured in hell alongside murderers and adulterers, as well as having the souls of their unborn shoot laser-like things in their eyes. He did. Another Christian treatise on what to believe instructs, do not murder a child by abortion or kill a newborn infant. The Epistle of Barnabas states, thou shalt not destroy thy conceptions before they are brought forth, nor kill them after they are born. Likewise, we have a myriad of quotes from early church fathers opposing abortion. Luckily for us, the Bible does give us two instances where a rare catch-22 situation comes us. That is the story of Rachel dying in childbirth found in Genesis 35. Upon reading the passage, what struck me was the fact that, while Rachel was dying during her labor, no one even thought of suggesting aborting the child that came to be Benjamin. Rachel, as she lays dying, even names the child, only to have it renamed by the father afterwards. In 1 Samuel chapter 4, Phinehas' wife is in a similar situation, and does the exact same thing Rachel does. As she delivers and lies dying, she gives her child a symbolic meaning, echoing a social commentary on the state of Israel after losing its Ark of the Covenant. Both women were lucid to communicate with their midwives and give out instructions about naming the children and providing some social commentary to boot. Presumably, they both could have requested an abortion to save their lives. However, in both instances we see that abortion was never an option. Weighing the lives of the mother and the child in the balance was never an option. The child had to come out. If the mother lived, great. If she did not, we mourn her death, but we have gained a new life. In no instance do we take it upon ourselves to destroy a new life in order to preserve an already existing one. Yet this is exactly what the Republican Party stands for, and what Christians vote for. I can understand the argument that a true Christian cannot ever vote for a Democrat based on the life issue. But if we used the same standard for the party they endorse, the Republicans, we see that voting Republican is a compromise. It is the lesser of two evils, the least objectionable position, and we see abortion as an issue of degrees, and not one of uncompromising principle. Uncompromising principle on the life issue is what early Christian writings, early church fathers, and biblical stories tell us. Voting for life, except in the cases of rape, incest or preserving the mother's life, is a compromise and constitutes homicide under this standard. The Catholic Church's adherence to this standard may be called dogmatic and uncompromising, but it is in line with Christian teaching. I have two questions. First, Christians, why do you vote Republican, based on the life issue? Why do you compromise on a Christian mandate? And why do you enable a party which endorses actions you define as murder in a smaller amount of cases as the Republicans do, as opposed to a greater amount of cases as the Democrats do? The Bible seems clear to me. Do you not find any dissonance between your standard and your actions? Are you comfortable aligning yourself with people who by your standard meet the definition of murderers simply for a place at the table of political power? Second, if you ever get Roe overturned, why do you not support punitive measures against women and doctors involved in abortions? The Bible and Christian tradition treat this procedure as homicide. Why not put these people on trial and make them eligible for death row? After all, if we cannot get it right on the fundamental issue of life, as one prominent Christian political leader put it, how can we get anything right?